Good morning. Today I would like to spend a little time with something called Live Project. And so I've made myself an account here, and this has got, well, let's look at the introduction here. All right, so this is going to give you a good idea of the skills needed to complete this live project. So this is a project that's online. Uh, and it's a project in artificial intelligence. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be a natural language processing engineer. We're going to build an automatic text summarizer for colleagues at a news media firm. So this talks about the kinds of things that one needs to be able to do. And if you don't know how to do it, it's okay, because you can go through these steps one by one and you'll learn these techniques. So I think this is a very interesting little project to work on. And so this is https://liveproject.manning.com. And so this talks about the things that you need, Rouge and Pandas and Matplotlib and all of these things. And then we're going to see the different versions that are necessary and how to set up a development environment. Well, you can do everything in Colab, but I really don't recommend that. Or you can do it on Kaggle kernels. I don't recommend that because if you go that route, you'll never learn how to set up a system with all of these packages and get them working together. So that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it this way. Let's see. So I've made a Conda environment called LiveP, and I'm in there now. And you can see I'm in the LiveP environment. So yeah, I made a directory and I made an environment. So I'm in both of those now. And I can do well, let's do a Conda list. And you're going to see a lot of things in here that I've added because I installed Anaconda in here. I almost always install Anaconda because I find that in most projects I'm going to need things there anyway. So I'm going to run this in a Jupyter notebook, and Anaconda is the best way to get the Jupyter Labs installed because there's some requirements for that, and this will just take care of that for you. So it says it wants Python version 3.7. So you can check which one you got going here, minus version. And this is 379. And if we look back at my Conda create statement, here it is for LiveP is Python equals 3.7. So getting the right Python version is often the cause of the majority of problems that occur when trying to get other people's projects working. So if you try to install things and things don't install, you do a pip install and it says there are problems or whatever, you're probably using the wrong version of Python. Usually what you need is an older version of Python, not a newer version. So if you put the latest version of Python in, which is 3.8 something, and then you try to do the installation, it's not going to work. It's going to complain and blah, blah, blah. So make sure you use the right version. So, excuse me. Once you get this going, then you're going to start doing your Conda installs. Install. Let's see. Let's find the version numbers here. TensorFlow, right? Tensor. TensorFlow 2.2.0. And I wanted to show you that the way you get the right version is with the double equals. So it's TensorFlow double equals 2.2.0. And similarly, you do that for all of these. Now, sometimes you will find a case where it doesn't work. You'll do the conda and it won't, in which case you can either do a pip or a pip3 and install the particular, and it's the same thing, it's the equals equals thing again here for the version. But yeah, that happens occasionally. Occasionally something isn't found by conda, and then you can always use try to use pip to install it instead. And if that doesn't work, then well, it's probably a sudo apt install kind of a thing, and not a Python installation program issue. So anyway, once we get all this stuff installed, you can check it. You can do a conda list. That'll show you what's installed in the virtual environment. You can also do a pip list, and that will show you the things that are just installed by pip. So what you might notice here, we'll do the conda list again. A conda list here will tell you if it was installed by pip. Right, so it'll show you this PyPy thing out here, or this was installed by pip, PyPy, PyPy. All these others here, the ones like this, single dispatch, 6, those are all installed by conda. Let me see if this gives you, yeah, it tells you the channel here. So this was done with the PyPy channel, and it probably was done using pip rather than conda. I don't recall now. All right, so here's the project outline, and we're going to start working with loading and segregating the CNN news data sets. All right, so how are we going to do this? Let's jump to this section here. So the first thing tells you this is what we're going to do. The data set comes in multiple stories, with each story having multiple summaries. We're going to spin up a Jupyter notebook and load the stories in it. So I found that this was a little bit backwards, that the best way to do it is to, I think it was a wget statement here. No, it wasn't wget. What's the other one? There goes my brain not working again. Was it curl? No, let's try Control R on that and see. Nope, wasn't this. I think it was wget. Gee, I don't see it here. I'm not sure how I downloaded this. Well, what we can do is, I think we've got, yeah, here's the live p.ipynb. That's an IPython notebook. So we can spin up the Jupyter lab from here. I'm just going to throw an ampersand on the end of this. Start it in the background. And then I'm going to pull this down, and I'm going to pull this one out so that they go side by side here. Now, what happened to this? Here it is. All right, so I downloaded this. I'm pretty sure I used wget, but it's not showing up. All right, so one of the things you can do here is you can get hints. And you can also download a partial solution. So let's do that. Let's download a partial solution here. And this also will show up here in the downloads directory. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the terminal again. And PWD here, you can see I'm in this one here. And what I'm going to do is a move tilde slash downloads. What was it? Partial, I think. Partial milestone one solution dot IPYNB. Oh, I need a dot here. There we go. I want to move it right there. And now I can hide this again. And if I come back over here and let me close this and open it back up. And now I've got this partial milestone here. So let me open that as a tab here. And so here's the wget statement. So you can just copy this from here. And this really is not cheating. And now, the one thing I really dislike about Jupyter Labs is the copy paste within here. So easiest way to do this is probably to click on this 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and then do a Control C, which will copy it, and then go out to here and do a paste. And this will bring down the cnnstories.tgz file into the live-p directory. And then once you get that, I think it's uncompress CNN stories, not CNN stories.tgz, like this. I think that's right. Let's take a look here at the, so here, yeah, it's cnnstories.tgz. And once you do that, then you end up with cnn_stories.tar, a tar archive. And so in order to uncompress that, then you do a tar minus xvf and then cnnstories.tar. And what that will do is it will open this thing up and you'll end up with a CNN directory like this. And this is quite large. What is it? It's du minus s, I think, dot. So this is half a gigabyte here. So yeah, this, I think this is actually larger than that. So you can see when I do a listing of this, it takes forever for it to even come back with the listing because it's really very large. If I do an LL and pipe that to word count minus L, takes a while, and then it comes back and it says that there are 92,579 stories in here. And these things are half a 5 kilobytes, let's say, on average, 4 kilobytes on average. So if you multiply 100,000 times 4 kilobytes, what is that? 100,000 times 4,000 is 4 gigabytes, I think. I don't know, you can check my math, but it's a lot. So one of the things that you might want to do once you untar this, actually, I got to go back a directory here. Once you untar this, oops, you might want to delete this cnnstories.tgz. I'm really surprised it can it compresses down to that. That's really kind of amazing. All right, so let's just move that. Well, I was going to remove it, but I'll leave it for now. Anyway, once we're in here, I'm going to just minimize this so we get the side-by-side view that I want. And we can start looking at this. So this tells you how to get it. This tells you how to untar it. And you can do that from within the Jupyter Notebook. You can copy these cells and paste them. I did it from within the shell. It's something you only have to do once anyway, right? If you find that you're doing it and then deleting it and et cetera, then throw it in the notebook. You won't have to worry about it. And then you need these dependencies here from blah, blah, blah. And once again, I hate this. It doesn't work right. You have to do Control C here. And then we can go back and take a look at the other guy here. So let's add these here because we're going to need them. We're going to need string and list year and all of this stuff. And this is, I was just playing around with something. This is not part of this project, so I'm going to delete this cell. We don't need that. And then here this is again, we don't need this twice. Let's delete that cell. So in order to delete the cell, all you have to do is hit a capital D and it will delete the cell. Now, if I'm in here and I hit D, you'll see it just added it. That's not what we want. You have to hit escape and you'll see the color changes slightly. Now if I hit a capital D, it should go away. And it didn't do that. I'm just going to do it this way. Delete cell. Maybe you have to hit capital D twice. I'm not sure. So here's how to load the document here. Let's take a look at the other, this one here. Here's the load doc. And so load doc file name. Open the file as read only. Do we specify the file name here? No. We're going to, when we call this is a function, right? So this is just a function definition. We're not calling it here. We're just defining it. That's hence the def keyword here. That's for define. Load under doc, file name, which we're going to pass to it later. And then we're going to get this file. This is a file handle. And it's going to be equal to, we're going to open file name, whatever we pass through to load doc later. It's going to be the file name. And we're going to use this encoding, UTF-8 encoding. And then text is going to equal file.read. So we're going to take all the text from the whatever the file name is, and we're going to throw it into this text variable. Then we're going to close that. And finally, we're going to return the text variable, all that stuff that's in there. And now we're going to split it into documents and also the highlight. And so if we look at one of these stories, let's go back here a second and take a look at one of these stories here. So just do a, I like to use bat. You can use more. Or cat or head, any way you want to do this. And then FFF, why am I having trouble here? I'm having trouble because this, the notebook is running in the background and it's spitting out messages occasionally. So what I want to do here is bat, FFF, and why is that not showing up? FF. Oh, I'm in the wrong directory. I want to go into CNN. Now I can do a bat, FFF. No, I need to go inside stories. All right, now I can do a bat of FFF. And then I'll choose one of these guys. And you'll see that there is the, this is line 1 here. It's, we get a story here about a Hamed Haddadi. And I'm just going to keep hitting the space bar until we get down to this decorator here, this at highlight. And within that is the NBA had to apply to the US government for a license to let Haddadi play. So that's the highlight. So we're breaking this up into the story, which is everything that isn't the highlight, and then the highlight or highlights. That's the goal. And the way that gets done is with this split function. And so I'm not going to go through all this Python code. This is something that you can do. And this gets you started. And you should try to do this without looking at the solution. Right? If you need to look at the solution is there. If you want to test what you've done as opposed to what they want done, this is the way to do this. You download this after the fact, and then you take a look at what you did. So, try to go through the this document, understand what the deliverable is, because this is what you're going to get or try to get from people in your organization. If you're doing this work for them, they're going to be giving you a task, and it should include a deliverable and information about the particulars of the project. So you should get used to reading these kinds of things and then thinking of questions, because most of the time the people who are giving you the work to do don't understand the project, don't understand what's involved. So they're looking to you really to flush out the project details, the steps in the project. And then very often they will put that into some project management software that they will use to come back and ask you questions later as the project goes on. And so, yeah, make sure you read all this. Try to do it on your own. If you can't do it on your own, then you go and look at the answers and implement it. Implement those answers. And if you do that, you'll learn these kinds of things and make progress. And I really like this project. I really think it's very helpful for someone trying to become a data scientist. This is the kind of work that you're going to be given right off the bat. So if you understand this project, you'll be able to help people do a lot of first projects in artificial intelligence. Anyway, I thank you for watching. I hope you learned something, and bye-bye.